Hey everyone, if these raw stories about betrayal and quiet comebacks resonate with you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss one. Let's get into it. The first sign didn't feel like betrayal. It was just a phone buzzing on smooth wood. Stuck at work. Happy 36th. A grinning emoji, the kind you drop when your mind is already somewhere else. I stared at the screen until the words lost their shape. The restaurant had dimmed the lights for the dinner crowd. Candles flickered. Glasses clinked gently. Couples leaned in close, sharing plans and promises. I sat alone, still in my jacket, napkin folded like it was waiting for the right moment. I told myself to hold on. Patience had always been my strength in this marriage. Time stretched through courses I hadn't ordered. The seat across from me stayed empty. The server came by with that careful sympathy saved for guys who show up dressed up for nothing. I nodded, steady, smiling like I had everything under control. The check arrived face down. That alone felt like an ending. As she set it on the table, the server leaned in close. Her voice was almost nothing. "Sir," she whispered, glancing toward the hallway, "your wife is in private dining room 5 with her boyfriend." The word landed sharp and clean. No drama, no softness, just the truth. I didn't argue. I didn't ask for details. My chest didn't clench. It just cleared out. The hallway was thick red carpet, every step swallowed. I noticed the old black and white photos on the walls, city shots from before it learned to hide better. I caught my reflection in the glass, a man walking toward something he'd never forget. Outside the door, laughter slipped through. Familiar, easy, practiced. I paused. That's when something inside me simply let go. Not rage, not sadness, just connection. I opened the door. There she was, my wife, Rachel. Hair styled the way she used to do when she wanted to feel seen. Her hand rested on the table, fingers wrapped around a wine glass like it was hers. Then I saw him, and the room shifted, not from surprise, but from understanding. It was Ethan, my best friend, my business partner, the guy who'd stood at our wedding, called me brother. The quiet stretched, their faces locked in the same frozen expression. A shared reflex, a shared secret. I took in details instead of feelings. His watch, the one I'd given him after our first big year. The cufflinks, custom, paid with company funds. Her necklace, my anniversary gift. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't step closer. I smiled. "Happy birthday," Ethan said, half standing. The nerve was almost something. That's when the connection ended. Not with fireworks. Just a quiet switch flipped by someone who'd finally seen the wiring. I turned and walked out. Let them fill the silence with whatever story they'd practiced. The hallway felt shorter on the way back. The dining room sounded louder. I paid the bill, left a generous tip. Control doesn't leave loose threads. In the car, I didn't yell. I planned. Ethan and I shared more than memories. We shared access, accounts, signatures, years of built-in trust. Rachel shared more than a bed with him. She shared ignorance. She'd never bothered to understand how the systems worked. She just enjoyed the benefits. That night, I slept soundly. Clarity feels like rest. The next morning, I started cutting off the air. First, the company. Quiet audits, forwarded emails, a lawyer who owed me and hated loose ends. By noon, I had timelines, transactions, patterns that weren't mine. Ethan had been skimming. Not enough to spot unless you were hunting for betrayal. I was. By Friday, the board knew. By Monday, accounts were locked. Ethan called once, twice, then nonstop. His messages went from confused to angry to something thinner. Fear. Second, the house. I changed nothing. I let Rachel keep thinking things were normal. I kissed her cheek, asked about her day, watched her lie without knowing the audience had shifted. I filed quietly. Evidence attached. Dates, locations. Private dining room 5. When the papers landed, she cried like she'd lost something precious. She asked how I could do this to her. I listened, patient, curious, like someone studying a species he'd once trusted. Third, the social circle. Truth doesn't need to be loud when it's backed by proof. Friends pulled away, invites dried up. Ethan's name became something people didn't want to touch. His reputation folded under the weight of simple facts. Weeks went by. The panic grew ripe. He showed up at my office one evening, eyes empty, tie loose, like he finally felt it choking him. He begged, not for forgiveness, for help. She said you'd understand, he whispered. That almost made me laugh. I leaned back, calm even. I did, I said. That's why it worked. The last talk wasn't dramatic. It was exact. Rachel sat across from me at the kitchen table, the same one where we'd planned trips and futures. Her hands shook. She asked if anything could be saved. I told her the truth. You were honest with him, I said. Not with me. So I adjusted. She reached for me. I stood. Ethan tried calling again that night. I didn't pick up. Consequences don't need an audience. The house sold. The company steadied. My name stayed clear. Theirs didn't. Now, when I think back to that restaurant, I don't feel anger. I feel grateful. For the server's quiet word, for the private room, for the moment the lies finally stepped into the open and stopped wasting my time. Betrayal taught me something real. Respect isn't won back with chaos. It's taken back with control. And the best kind of payback isn't destruction. It's watching them realize too late that you were always the one holding the door.